Hello, another week of Kavanaugh drama is ahead of us. And I started out my morning watching the Steve Bannon movie, Trump at War, the @ sign. You have to watch it. I saw that it was available a couple weeks ago in the middle of September, and couldn't watch it. But now it's available on some YouTube channels. So it's great. You really, if you're a fan of Trump, you need to see it. And then if you by some chance know somebody who's sort of wavering of leaving the Democratic Party, make them see it, because it shows, the takeaway for me was the insanity of the left and the Democratic Party before he was even elected president. The things that they said about him as a person, as a human being, were so appalling. And I'm sure this is indelibly seared in everyone's memory that's watching this, as it is mine. But it was fascinating almost 2 years later to see it again. The things that they said about him being a racist and a homophobe and all the phobics and isms that, they made up at the time. It also shows him making these fiery speeches about what he wanted to do for America. And he's kept his promises. That's the really wonderful thing about him. He has kept his promises, and I'm not the only one who can say that they've never known a president or politician who even remotely kept any of their promises. I believed him when he ran, and I still believe him now. This Kavanaugh thing has brought this whole thing, sort of ignited a fire again under the left, because they view it as a way to undermine him. This is not about Kavanaugh. This is not about the woman's accusations. It's not about believing women and all this malarkey that they want to do. This is about taking down Trump and making sure that he does not get this nominee on the court. And it's about power. They see their last hope of power slipping away from them in this nomination. And they're just beside themselves. Something interesting that came out this morning that maybe some of you caught, I certainly didn't, and this Fox News commentator hadn't caught it either, and that is, during the trial, it came out through questioning that when this Ford woman gave her letter to Feinstein saying this is what happened, she said, I want it to be kept confidential. We all know that. And then we all know that Feinstein's office leaked it, although she denies it, but where else did it get leaked from? But what hadn't been put together was that also in this questioning, she says that the lawyer, those two nasty lawyers that sat on either side of her to make sure she didn't screw up or fall out of her chair or something, that they were hired before the letter was released. In other words, the Democrats knew that she was going to need a lawyer, i.e. they knew that she was going to be put in some sort of a public arena for this issue. They knew they were going to set her up. And if that's not conspiracy, I don't know what is. That was one of the things that Judge Kavanaugh said during his opening statements, that he believed that this was a Democratic conspiracy to keep him out of the Supreme Court, because the Democrats couldn't get over losing, that Hillary didn't win. And then Mazie Hirono, that nasty senator from Hawaii, came out later and said, Judge Kavanaugh called this a vast conspiracy. Is this somebody that you want on the Supreme Court? Like, this was so laughable. Well, it was a conspiracy. Chuck Schumer said before anything happened, before even a nominee was made, that he would fight the nominee with everything in his body. Isn't that laying out that there's going to be a conspiracy to do this? He's a very powerful person in the Democratic Party. So that's why he has to get on the court. It has to be a statement. And I really look forward to seeing what the FBI comes up with this week, as I'm sure all of you do. It's going to be interesting. But take the time to watch this movie, and like I said, give it a view to somebody that you think maybe you could sway them into leaving the Democratic Party. And I hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.